Welcome to Dino Park Media. My name is Samuel, and with me, as always, we have Matt Heuel. Matt, why don't you go ahead and say hello?
Hey, Jurassic fans, it's been a minute. I hope you guys are having a great holiday season or had one and are excited for the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. I can't believe it's been 30 years, man.
Yeah, 30 years, 30 years. And going into the second episode of this year, I mean, we're really excited for the 30th anniversary. We talked a little bit about it, or I did last episode. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get you as a part of that, but I mean, like, just so everybody knows, Matt's the man, all right? He's the co-host. We co-host this thing together, and so that last episode was kind of a one-off, but this one, we're able to talk a little bit more about what we really appreciate with Jurassic Park, and specifically the first movie, because as Matt made mention of, this is the 30th anniversary of this movie, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but that means that I'm knocking on 29 years old in November, and then I'll be 30 the following year. So like this is really like wow,
Yeah.
okay, this is really happening. 30 years for this movie, 30 years for Samuel next year, but I mean, the 30th anniversary hopefully will open up a lot of opportunities for us to be able to celebrate because I don't know, but actually I do know about you, Matt. I think that you said that the Lost World is your favorite out of the series, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Believe it or not, when I tell people, they don't believe me, but Lost World was my first film that I saw as like a Jurassic Park film, like on VHS back in 97 when I was 3. So very fond memories. But then I watched Jurassic Park very shortly after. So, and I was blown away by that too, obviously. So,
Oh yeah.
um, yeah. And then JP3. So, all three of the originals, if you want to call them that, the Park movies are very close to my heart. And I know that Jurassic Park is a Spielberg classic to say the least. So I
Oh,
understand the
absolutely.
significance. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And the thing is, a reason I say that is because, I mean, for me, Jurassic Park is my favorite movie, the original JP from 93. So, like, 30th anniversary is huge. But then, I mean, but for you, this is also an important year, even though this is the 30th of the original, obviously. And last year was the anniversary of the 25th anniversary of The
That's
Lost
right.
World. And
Yeah.
but I mean, and there was obviously a celebration of that. I mean, there's recognition by Universal and such, but it's obviously there's something that the whole community can rally around with the original movie. And so that's the reason that the 25th anniversary was huge for Jurassic Park back in 2018, and then going into 2023 here with the 30th anniversary. I'm hoping that we're able to kind of garnish some of that same excitement that we had from the 25th anniversary. But for today's episode, we're going to get a
Yeah.
little bit more into our personal nostalgia, our personal appreciation for the OGJP. And so I'm just gonna like go straight into this first question here, Matt. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to hear what you have to say about this. Because like I said, even though The Lost World is your favorite movie out of the JPs,
For
I
sure.
mean, you speak so highly of all of the Jurassic films and specifically JP1 all the time. So, what do you think makes Jurassic Park, the original 1993 film, so amazing, such a great film?
And there's tons of things, but obviously, I want to start off with the directing because Steven Spielberg, it is a Spielberg classic, but the way that he shot the film was beautiful. And in my opinion, it's not only like just a great film, but I think it's one of the top 5 Spielberg films of all time. I
Oh
think
wow,
it's
yeah.
just that good. The John Williams score. Nothing needs to be said about that.
Oh,
It's the
absolutely.
best. I mean, people could say Star Wars or Indy, but I always go with Jurassic Park with John Williams. That's as much as I love the Jurassic World trilogy, I think that's the one thing it's kind of missing, I guess, is the John Williams theme for 1 and 2 that he had. Just amazing. I love all of John Williams' work, but particularly in the first 2 Jurassics. And to be honest with you, though, the main thing I love about Jurassic World is they do a great job of making it about interesting characters that just so happens to be about or have dinosaurs in it. And especially and particularly through Dr. Grant's eyes, because you see his progression from the beginning of the film
Mm.
um, to the end of him being sort of, you know, stuck in the past, almost in a meta sense, you know, in 65 million years of the past, where he's a paleontologist and, you know, him and his, uh, you know, his crew are, you know, they're very, or he is at least like not so happy about like computers technology, or he's not thrilled about that. And kids, as you can tell with the 6 foot turkey kid, you know, and all
Yeah.
that. So, and then you see him later in the film, like become like a surrogate father to Lex and Tim, which is super cool. And it's amazing to see his primal instincts, especially in this particular film, the kind of film. It's a really rich story about Sam Neill's character and Dr. Grant, and that's why I think he's the best character in Jurassic Park. I know it kind of went off tangent, but I have to give Dr. Grant his due. He's awesome. So yeah.
Oh yeah. No, no. When it comes to Dr. Grant, he's definitely one of my favorite characters for a movie. Not and hear what I'm saying. Not one of my favorite movie characters because I think that he is a very simple a very
Yeah,
simple characterization. So like, like he's not going to stand up to like an Anakin Skywalker or to a Frodo
right.
Baggins because they are extremely unique within their setting. And then Sam Neill's character, Sam Neill brought a lot of character to Alan Grant, right? But Alan Grant as a character is, he's kind of meant to be a person that we can empathize with, or maybe, sorry, sympathize with. We can actually kind of put ourselves in his
Absolutely.
shoes. Maybe not as we're not paleontologists, but we're like a guy who is skeptical of this weird eccentric billionaire who's going like, come to my island and check out my biological preserve. And then like because he's going
Exactly.
there going like, what the heck am I gonna see? And then like we're supposed to be experiencing these dinosaurs for the first time, just like Sam Neill as Alan Grant is. And I think so like that character is amazing. And actually, I mean, I still have a huge tie to this character, even though he's not like what I would say like an amazing, like extremely memorable movie character. He's an incredible character, and so much so that I mean, like, listen, I have three main names for my for our son that's going to be coming here in April, and one of the main names that we really like is Grant. Okay, so
That's really cool. Really,
yeah, no,
that's
no, no, for
awesome,
real.
man.
Like, we really like the name Grant, and I like it because of Alan Grant from Jurassic Park. But don't tell my wife. But like, because if Amanda finds out, she'll go like, no. But no, anyway,
Life finds a way, you know.
life finds a way. But yeah, that's one of the three main names in the running right now for my son because I really do like the character of Alan Grant, and but when it comes to what makes this movie so great, and the reason I actually appreciate that Alan Grant is such a simple character is for what I just explained. You, as the audience member, are able to put yourself into the shoes of this kind of Joe Schmo. I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be this world-renowned paleontologist and whatnot, but he's supposed to be the gruff, grizzled, skeptical guy that you can put your feet into his shoes and experience what he's experiencing. And because of that, the plot of this movie, I think, is really what makes it so great, is because it is so simple. A lot of people say that it's simple to a fault. I mean, I would not agree with that, obviously, because it's my favorite movie of all time. But I would also disagree because
Yeah,
it's not simple to a fault. It's simple to its success. And what I mean by that is when you
I
have a
agree with
simple
that.
plot, when you have a simple plot, you don't have so many different plot threads. That means that you don't have a lot of confusion added into your movie. You don't have a lot of these different these little different threads that need to be tied up by the end of the movie or by the end of an established trilogy or series. And so, like with Lord of the Rings, right? With Lord of the Rings or the original Star Wars trilogy, they
Mhm.
were able to go off into these multiple plot lines, these multiple plot threads, because they went into this trilogy with this idea of we have an entire story and these plot
Right.
threads
Yeah.
will come together in the third movie. Now, Jurassic Park was meant to be a succinct one-off movie. Now,
Yeah, just a one-off in a way. Yeah.
if it was going to be successful, I mean, even Spielberg knew it was going to be successful because he put the Barbasol can in there as a tease to a sequel. Now, but that was the only plot thread that did not get fulfilled, right? Other than that, every other plot thread when it comes to why did the storm happened? The storm led to the cover for Dennis Nedry to be able to like do enact his
Sabotage and
plan
all
to turn
that.
off the power.
Yeah.
But then when the power's turned off, like he knew, listen, I can't turn the power off to the Velociraptor paddock because that
Yeah.
would be stupid. But when
Yeah.
he in order to undo the issue the issue that he put into the computer program so that nobody could undo the issues that he had done to Jurassic Park in order to in order to fix his problem, they had to reset the computer. But when they reset everything, they turned the power off and then back on. That turned off the power to the Velociraptor paddock, which then led to the end of the film. So, like all these different things that happen in the film, there's cause and effect, and you get to see it. It's not like there's no Chekhov's gun. Do you know
Absolutely.
that term, Chekhov's gun?
I until you said it, no, I have no idea, but it sounds cool.
Okay, well, what Chekhov's gun is, so like I can't remember if it was in one of the Star Trek movies or a Star Trek episode, but Chekhov from Star Trek literally he
Okay.
like the camera and the whole framing of the shot is supposed to like make you watch as an audience member, watch Chekhov put his gun down, right? So see,
Okay.
there's this gun that Chekhov had in this scene. He puts the gun down, but then nothing happens with it. So like literally, as the audience member, you see Chekhov put his gun down, like and the whole framing of the shot is supposed to be poignant, like, hey, this is an important plot thread that his gun is right here, and he set it down for a purpose. We don't know what it is yet, but it will have some it kind of is leading to the audience to go like it'll be important later, but nothing gets done with it. So the term got coined Chekhov's gun in order to say, hey, something got built up to in the movie or in the TV show, but never got used. So it ended up being a useless plot thread. That doesn't happen in Jurassic Park. The only thing that like I alluded to originally was the Barbasol can, but the Barbasol can was intentionally put there in order to tease a sequel, but the sequel went a completely different direction because Michael Crichton
Yeah.
wrote a sequel that was completely different. But other than that, I am hard pressed to find any other plot holes in Jurassic Park because its plot is so simple and everything has cause and effect that everything gets tied up into this nice package by the end of the movie. And that is really what sells success to me because it is a simple plot, but it's a plot that is well handled. It is everything that is set up gets paid off and you just feel so satisfied at the end of that movie. That's what I really believe makes Jurassic Park a great film. I mean, what do you think about that, Matt?
Well, I love how you put it. When you're talking about the Barbasol can as well, when you were saying that that's the only kind of hint that they gave to a sequel, sort of
Right.
like a visual dialogue reference for the audience that Spielberg gave out. That was pretty cool. That was very clever. And even though they didn't use it, I thought in the film, it just felt like a very contained story. Like it didn't need a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, for better or for worse, like in this case, better because of this movie, it really excelled because of that, because it wasn't trying to world build like A New Hope was or
Yep.
anything like that. So I agree with that. I think we need more of that in Hollywood as well.
Mm.
I'm all for sequels and cinematic universes for sure. I like them more, I like them just as much as the next guy. But there's something about sci-fi films that can just have a cool one-off kind of feel that is so grand and Spielbergian, if that's a
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
you know, um, that just has that magic, man. So I completely agree. I think the simplicity is the key for success in JP1, and there's a lot of other stuff that makes it great too. But I think that contain um, feeling is amazing for sure. Once you're done with the movie, it's satisfying.
Absolutely. And what you said there about the sci-fi films, whenever a sci-fi film comes along, excuse me, that is a one-off and not trying to set up uh an entire like franchise or something like that, it can still be great. And so like I'm thinking of two movies in particular that were
Ooh,
sci-fi one-offs
okay.
and were amazing. Inception.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew
Yep,
it.
yep.
You love
Inception and
Inception, yeah.
Interstellar, and those things, though, both of those movies had kind of actually had complex, very complex, I would say, plots, and they were handled very well. I forgot the name of the director. Oh, this is gonna bother me so much.
Oh, director of the Dark Knight movies,
Yes,
Chris Nolan.
thank you. So Christopher Nolan, he's an amazing director, and I really appreciate his reliance on practical effects. He will do everything
Mhm.
practically that is possible and
Interstellar, man.
or
Oof.
safe, right?
Yeah.
Even some things that are unsafe, but they like in Inception, they put the whole hallway scene into a giant drum and spun it. Like that's
Oh,
amazing.
cool.
But
Yeah.
the reason that those movies succeed and are even allowed to happen is because Christopher Nolan has the pedigree where Hollywood's like, you know what? We are going to allow you to do a one-off film and not force it into a franchise
True.
that because of the fact that you have the authenticity, you have this stamp of approval that like the movies in the past speak for themselves. You know what you're
The
doing.
cliche. Yeah.
Yes, but when it came to Jurassic Park, obviously Spielberg was well established by that point. I mean, we had E.T., we had Jaws. Like the guy knew what he was doing. And he even had two movies come out in the same year with Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. I mean,
That's ridiculous.
the
He's
dude is a
crazy.
machine. Yeah, the dude's
He's crazy.
amazing. Um, but like the fact that also honestly, I think Universal they kind of knew that this could turn into a franchise, but
Hmm.
the fact
Hmm.
that they allowed a one-off film to happen like that is amazing. But that didn't deter Spielberg from still making the one succinct film and try to follow the book in an appropriate way. Obviously, a lot of people that are listening are going to realize that obviously the book is so much darker and different
Yeah.
than the movie. But the movie was meant to be a summer blockbuster, appealing to a whole litany of people and
Yeah.
a whole swath. Like the book is very, I wouldn't say very specific, but like you're going to have a lot less
R-rated.
of an audience for the
Yeah.
movie, sorry, for the book than you are for the movie, because not only is it gorier and darker, but then also it's a lot more intelligent. And that's not to speak down to my favorite movie of all time, but like just the way that Alan Grant speaks, the depth of the conversations that they have. So it's going to turn off a lot of people that just want to have fun. Jurassic Park, the movie, is a lot of fun, and also
Oh
its
yeah.
plot is so simple, yet they're able to explore so much in a simple plot. Spielberg really hit it out of the park with this movie, and honestly, I believe it's great because of that. You know?
I agree. I have a quick question because of the sci-fi thing that you brought up. Do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think, or just movies in general, I guess, that are supposed to be one-offs, sci-fi, I guess too, but movies that are meant to be one-offs, does a sequel kind of turn you off to that original film in a sense? Like, do you think, oh, if they made like a sequel to, let's say, like the movie like the Joker, right? Like they're making a sequel to that.
Yeah.
So did that kind of ruin the first film? Or if they never, obviously they made sequels to Jurassic Park and stuff like that. Does that tarnish the legacy for you? Because for some people it does. For me it doesn't, but for you, does it do anything? Like, does it make you go,
Well, because we're speaking in terms of like personal feelings, and we're taking it at face value right now in 2023, I'm going to give you that answer, but then also I will give you a little bit of a contrasting point of view after I give you my answer, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man.
Okay, so my answer, Samuel Lester, just subjective view in 2023. Um, I will say that if a movie was created and then I think the best example I can give is Avatar. So like the Blue People movie, not Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm talking about Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar blew people out on Pandora. So,
I've never
um,
seen it. I'm just kidding.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what movie is that? Yeah, can you
Yeah.
explain it? But like, so the first movie, when I was in high school, I watched that in 2009, and I thought I watched it 4 times in the theater, every single time in 3D, and I was
Nice.
blown away every single time. And so I thought it was legitimately a great movie. And at that time, I could not have imagined a franchise based out of that. I remember James Cameron saying that he was
Mhm.
doing interviews and he said that he had 5 movies envisioned. And he
Yeah.
had 4 more to do. And I was like, oh boy, I can't see that. And then, but like I hadn't heard about the sequels being greenlit like right at that point. So I'm like, we got this
Exactly.
movie. I was in high school, so like how much did I really actually know? Not much. I was a punk, but but now after Avatar 2 has come out, just this past just this past December, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that this movie came out. I will say, in the years, literally years, like I think 2020, we knew that Avatar 2 was officially going to be coming out.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so like for years, I was thinking before Avatar 2 came out, I'm like, I know I'm going to see it, but do I really want to see Pocahontas in space again? Like that was literally because
Okay. Yeah.
so why did I bring up the whole thing about 2009? I thought it was amazing because in 3D I was surrounded by everything and I was caught up in the hype. But then I watched it like about 6 to 8 months after it came out. No, sorry, I saw it like a whole 2 years after it came out, and I thought it was boring as heck. I saw it on a big screen TV in somebody's house. I saw it with
Yeah.
surround sound, but not there was no 3D, and I thought I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I thought it was super boring and super long. And so then when I heard that, going into Avatar 2, I was like, oh boy, like here we go. Somebody trying to make a franchise off of, a one-hit wonder. But no,
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that Avatar is continuing on because Avatar 2 show that James Cameron, as the competent director that he is and story creator, like he actually can continue to like, keep my interest. I thought the Avatar 2 was great because they played off of the family dynamic. So that's the important thing. If I can know that a sequel will provide something to keep my interest, will provide something either new or better than like the same thing but better than the last time around, then I will go like, okay, I'm excited for this. Um, but with so many movies nowadays, I'm like, because Hollywood is so wrapped up in making everything into a franchise in order to be able to
Oh yeah.
maximize its money. It's really stupid, but in order they want to
Mhm.
maximize their money, they want to maximize their profit, and that's not stupid. I mean, honestly, they need to make their money in order to continue to make more films. Like so, like obviously, I get it. We don't get more
Minions 4.
media or entertainment if they don't have any money to do to make it, but like right now, if you told me that Inception 2 was coming out, I would
Okay.
feel
Yeah, yeah.
very ambivalent because of the
Really?
fact that, yeah, because I liked Inception is actually probably in my personal top 10 movies of all time for me. For me,
I know
that's
you
some,
love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and no, I really like Inception. I think it's a great plot. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but for me, like it's so creative. But if for today you told me that Inception 2 is coming out and you could even show me the trailer, I would feel pretty ambivalent because on one hand I'm like, yes, like one of my favorite movies is getting another installment in the series, but then
Yeah.
and they're making a franchise out of it. But then another part about me is like, well, it's 2023. We've had Marvel just churning out movies, and then every other
Yeah.
one is like, ugh, like you're sitting there going like, ew, I don't know, that's not good. You do get some movies like Spider-Man 3, No Way Home, right? You do get that. You also get Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I did like that movie, but then you also get the Eternals, ugh, and you get
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. Ugh, I did not like Multiverse of Madness. Like, or you get these TV shows like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. Like some people like them.
WandaVision.
I don't
Yeah.
want to hate on people that like the shows, but I will be. I'm gonna just show my true colors. I think that they're garbage. I did not like them at all. And so we have Marvel, we have Star Wars. Star Wars, like the movies have been like literally only two of them in the past. Wow, it's been 8 years. In the past 8 years, only
2015,
two
right?
of them I
Yeah.
really still enjoy. Obviously, Rogue One.
Rogue One.
That's
Yeah.
so good. And I also enjoyed Solo. Force Awakens has aged like milk to me because of the fact that Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker came out. So, like, even if I think that by itself, Force Awakens is good, but then the other two movies just like make it completely like pointless. So, all of that to say, we have these, we're in the age of franchising. Even with the Jurassic franchise, Dominion, I did not like. Like that really
Yeah.
that left a sour taste in my mouth because of the way that it was executed. The way that it ended, I like it left some idea of like stuff can happen in the future, but the way that we had to get from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, I did not like the in between. so
I feel you. Yeah.
so like we're in the age of where all these production houses are trying to just push out movies in a franchise because they know that people are going to get it. And so so on one hand for Inception 2, like if it came out, I would be like, I'm going to watch it, but I'm going in very cautious. Like I'm ready to be hurt again, that kind of situation
Yeah.
because just
Your expectation.
unfortunately the
Yeah.
franchising really kills a lot of movies nowadays. But I also told you that I was going to give you a contrast. So here's the contrast, right?
Ooh.
The contrast is let's go back to 1995.
Okay.
Sorry, 1996. 1996. So Jurassic Park, the original one, came out 3 years earlier. And everybody's like, yo, Spielberg made a masterpiece. That was blockbuster gold, is what everybody can agree. Jurassic Park, the original 1993 movie, is amazing. 1996 happens, and then people are like, wait a minute, what is this trailer at the beginning of this movie that I'm watching at the cinema? And then the Lost World Jurassic Park trailer plays, and people are like, oh my gosh, there's another one coming. So like that is before franchises were as big as Marvel and even Star Wars. Star Wars was still just the trilogy, and people were super engaged. But we here in 2023 know Star Wars to be a household name that you can put literally Baby Yoda, or you can put Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker on like a spoon, a cooking spoon, right? So that's how over franchised and just putting that IP to work has come. Back in 1996, Star Wars was still, for some people, what nerds watched. For some people, ooh, you have a Star Wars toy, you are a kind of a dork. Nowadays, if you have a Star Wars toy, people are like, oh, cool, which one do you have? They might not be interested in it, but they still know that it's a pop culture icon.
Wow, how times have changed.
Jeez. Exactly. But in 1996, people would have been more open to the Lost World Jurassic Park. In fact, people are probably so excited. I know that there was a lot of mixed reviews, probably even airing more on negative after the Lost World came out compared to what we see nowadays. But like going into the Lost World, everyone was excited because franchising wasn't nearly as insane as it is today. And so, like, even though people came out of it with mixed feelings back in 1997, in 1996, people were excited for Jurassic Park because people are like, the first movie was great. How can they mess up the second one? Like, it's impossible was the thought process. And then with Jurassic Park 3, people were like, I'm cautious because maybe some people didn't like the Lost World, but then they're seeing that Dr. Alan Grant is back. They're seeing that Ellie Sattler might be in the trailer. They're seeing that a new dinosaur is going to be showing off. They're seeing that it looks a lot more like the tropical ecosystem that we saw from the first movie. So people still went into 2001's Jurassic Park 3 with excitement. Obviously, they had no idea what they were going to witness. But all that